Hey everybody, this is Daniel Garza, and I'm messing with the computer. How's everybody doing? This is put together podcast conversations, and we're coming to you live from. Let me make sure I know where we're coming from. Mystic Journey here at Mystic Journey Yoga. The address is 1702 Lincoln Boulevard here in Venice, California. And there's a comedy show here tonight. Who knew? You can come to a yoga place full of crystals and stones and meditation. And sitting next to me, our first guest, Theo Manhattan. How you doing, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me, Daniel.
My
And
pleasure.
Christian.
Yes, for those of you who know my boyfriend Christian, he is behind the camera today helping me out. I hope you guys were able to follow us this morning. We were at the Orange County AIDS Walk 2019 down in Huntington Beach this morning, and then we took a nap, and here we are today. There was an AIDS Walk this morning, and we got to host that this morning, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
And then we're here, and don't be confused, it's not a onesie. I thought it was like
Definite two-piece.
Yeah, two-piece. Yes, it's more professional that way.
I look like a really weird Dixie cup right now. I have a tall glass of water, and you're thirsty.
How can I follow? I think that's the end of the show. Thank you, folks. How can you do? So, Manhattan. We were talking about Manhattan.
Yeah.
Where did Theo Manhattan come from?
It was a managerial decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my manager forgot my real last name.
Really?
And she just sputtered out Manhattan. And it clicked. It worked. And I was like, that's actually stronger than my real last name, which is negligible at this point.
You have to Google it.
I'm
and
a
go
new
back.
man.
You have to go back and Google and find out who you really are.
You really need a private investigator to figure it out.
Now it's a challenge. Right?
I'm an enigma.
Well, when we walked into this, it's a beautiful place, by the way. If you haven't been here, it's our first time. There is some huge stones,
Gigantic.
rocks. There's some big rocks here.
Yeah. Like, how did they?
How much? $8,000 for a rock? Wow, that's
that's
a lot of love. That's a lot of meditation and
That's when you've paid all your bills for the month, and you can have the court spending money.
start saving pennies now, and maybe by the end of the year you could get that for me.
You'll maybe have like a quarter of a quartz stone or something like that.
But when we walked in, Theo was kicking back. There was some incense going. I thought you worked here. You looked so chill.
Oh, yeah, well, it was the incense for one. It's just my, what do they call it, disposition.
Yeah.
Too. I'm a very laid-back guy. I kind of get attracted to places like these. It's not every day you get to a comedy at a place that's so chill.
Right.
Because comedy, you're like, ha, 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 like, very lively, and over here we're just... No, you have to breathe. No laughter, just breathing.
I wonder what that does, because when you walk into a regular, like I've been at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
club,
and you walk in and there's the energy, there's the vibe, there's cocktails. Cocktails help be funnier.
Yeah, usually we like our audience drunk and not incensed up. So.
I wonder how the energy would be here, where people are like more zen and more centered.
You know, I think with the centered chakra, they have less to worry about. All the evil spirits are out. They're all saged. And so they're like, what else to do but be entertained?
Joe,
I think it's a great space.
we won't present the show, obviously. If you want to see the show, you still have time to get here. Show starts at 7:15. It is only 6:15, so you have an hour.
Whole hour.
Get here now, because parking is a little tight out here in Venice, but Uber. Just Uber out here. We should have Ubered out here.
I parked in someone else's driveway, so
That's
they're
always good.
double parked. They're going to be... I'm a comedian. You're going to have to wait.
I'm Theo Manhattan.
You don't know who I am?
So that's a good segue. For folks that don't know who you are, how did you become Theo Manhattan? Where do you come from? What's your backstory?
Well, first off, that's prime interviewing segueing on your part. So I can tell you're a seasoned interviewer. Very good.
Don't let this fool you. I just learned how to speak English yesterday. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
you're already...
Yeah. Ice is waiting for me outside to take me home after this.
Well, I'll talk to him. He's a good... Do you, ISIS, want to be on the podcast? Jump on.
Will you sponsor me?
Oh, yeah.
I need a white person to sign out for me.
Oh, I got you.
So, where did the comedian come from, and what was your past life?
Well, past life, I've been told, was a British orphan boy who had a female companion, helped him dig through trash. Oh, you mean like my...
Yeah,
like
but that's
my
interesting
past.
too. That's pretty
Oh.
interesting too.
I felt like that was the right vibe, but...
For this place, yeah.
Well, my action, my past, Minnesota.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a Minnesota lad. My comedy, I've always been into theater and performing, but I never hit it off with stand-up until 4 years ago.
Okay.
First time on stage, horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was so cocky. I was like, I memorized 5 minutes. I'm going to get this done. People are going to love it. I'm going to get a thing on Conan next up. And then this guy at the bar was yelling over me at a hockey game on TV. And
You can't compete with
the best compliment I got was "good job." So that's which in comedian terms is
I've used when I've had sex workers too.
good job.
Good job. Good job.
That's
down
not
there.
so bad.
Good job down there.
They could have faces of disgust too.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you a happy emoji.
yeah, we'll give you a 5.
So you thought this is it? I'm gonna kill it. 5 minutes. I'm on.
Yeah, and I got killed instead. And the 2 people I invited to come see me never talked to me again. So in personal life,
Now-
they like some of my statuses still, but.
For folks that are watching who maybe want to get started, because obviously we're in LA and everybody wants to be either an actor, a director, producer, writer, or comedian.
Yeah, you could throw a book into a coffee shop and hit a comedian / actor.
You could have gone 2 ways on that first show. You could have just said, "Screw it, I'm done," but you didn't. Why?
There was a weird attraction to failing.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that was horrible, but I know I could. Like, you know when something is so bad in a bizarre way that you want to do it again?
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of want to try failing again. That might be pretty. So the booker asked me back for next week, but it was at the Comedy Store this time.
Oh wow.
I was like, "What, Comedy Store? I can't do that. That's for legends. Like, I'm not a legend. I just started." And she's like, "Nah, you'll be fine." And second time, I had a decent set, and I fell in love with it. So that's when I was obsessed. Was the second time around.
What were the changes that you made to, and what? Because the first time I went on stage was through a class. Hello, Cool Beans. Comedy.
Cool Beans!
Yeah,
Great,
I'm
at the
a
Ice House.
Yeah, I'm an alumni.
Oh, cool.
And the first time I went on stage, we had to write our skit to go on, and we had 6 weeks to work on it. And I worked on all these jokes, and I realized that I was so mechanical and so overthinking.
Like it sounded memorized
Yes,
almost?
and of course my favorite critic is my boyfriend, because before any compliments, he's like, "Well, that kind of sucked."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love people like
Yeah,
that.
and I'm like, and now you want me to go sleep with you? Yes.
Well, that's why comedy's such a gamble. Is if you do very well, then everyone's turned on, and they're like, "Let's get it on." And then if you suck, you don't even get eye contact. You get the couch for the night.
Well, that was the cool thing, that people were dug what I was doing, and I was a little discouraged. And this is where I ask you. I was a little discouraged because I was like, maybe this isn't for me because I don't like the way that and then I got the recording, and it was even worse. Like to watch myself.
The recording always is. It's so hard to hear yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
And then and then they asked me to come back and do a show with other alumni.
Oh, great.
And I didn't write anything down. I pretty much went off the cuff. In fact, even my first line was making fun of the comedian before me.
Oh, great.
And people just laughed. And as soon as they laughed, I forgot everything I was going to say. Everything. And then when I saw the video, I was like, I was more relaxed, just BSing my way through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what is your style of prepping yourself?
Well, prepping myself, I have a set list that I want, but it always depends on what comics are on the show. So I can know what style they do, so I can kind of adapt my style. I always see what kind of crowd it is, what people have been laughing at. So if there's people that aren't laughing at like really brainy stuff, I might try stuff that's a bit more dirty. Or if people aren't laughing at dirty stuff, I'll try more brainy stuff. And
are those your two niche go-to, brainy or dirty?
I'd say dirty for me is I'm brainy and dirty. Crazy.
I was about to say, like, can we combine them?
Dirty brain.
Dirty brain, yeah. Talk to me intelligently.
Ooh, it turns me on when you're so sesquipedalian.
Tell me I'm a slut in Latin.
Slutos. I think so. I'm being confident about that. I'd say my dirty is kind of just talking about drugs.
Oh.
I don't have a lot of sex jokes. I have more drug-related stuff, or like road material that's a bit more relatable for people outside of LA. But it works here too.
Yeah,
so.
well, drugs in LA? Nah.
But I'm way more. Yeah, who does?
Who does
drugs
in LA?
Yeah,
Nobody.
one does.
Nobody. I want to go back just a little bit more because since nobody else is here yet, we're going to talk to you if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. I actually told everyone there was no show, so I could hug all the time.
Is that why nobody else is going to show
Yeah.
up? It's 1 hour of just Theo Manhattan.
That's right.
That's what I would have done.
That's business.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
That's a great question, and I think you'll be surprised by the polarity of it. Was originally starting in elementary school, I wanted to be a spy.
Oh.
Like for the CIA.
Wow.
And so it was like anything I could do to work for the CIA, like intelligence, and like I always thought I'd go overseas and like have like a secret hollowed out book with like a pistol inside.
Wow.
Watch James Bond all the time. And then
Somebody watch Get Smart.
Oh yeah. That's right. The cone of silence. Ice cream cone. Wait, that's a weapon. And I thought I'd have like cool gadgets and whatnot. Then it turns out you need like military experience. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. I'll do Air Force. And then I discovered music, and I was like, whoa, no way, man! Like, I'm a pacifist now. I don't want to be military.
So you were in the military?
I wasn't. I almost.
Almost.
I was almost going to do ROTC for the Air Force, and do like 4 years of that, then be in the CIA. And then I discovered being in a metal band instead.
Really? So you're a metalhead?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh wow!
And the hair looks like it. My hair says metal, and I have weed on me at all times, which I don't, but people assume.
People assume. I would have told. Book by its cover. When we walked in again, I was like, "This guy is living it right now. Like he is there."
Oh yeah.
But you have the chill vibe.
That's good.
So at what? Okay, so you wanted to be a spy. Realized it was a lot more work than you thought it was going to be.
It wasn't even the work. I think it was just I had a bigger passion for music than I did for spying, I think. And
Okay.
I think that passion overtook my original one. So I said, well, I think I'm a new person, so.
And this is still in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I lived in Minnesota until I was about 23, and then I moved out here 4 years ago.
Oh wow.
So, and then out here just writing and comedy.
We have friends all over the country, especially in the Midwest, and a lot of them are fearful of making the move, or either New York or LA or going. We'll have you next in a minute.
Oh damn, he's full of shit.
And well, the hair gave it away, and
That middle finger was off camera. I didn't want to tarnish my image.
and so they're kind of fearful of leaving the comfort of home and what they know and experimenting in New York or Los Angeles. And giving it a
Yeah.
try. What pushed you out of the nest?
What pushed me out of the nest was a job offer out here, working for my brother's company, and also just a toxic relationship that ended. So I was like, I have nothing left to live for out here. I'm gonna head west.
Yeah.
But comfort zone, it freezes a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, but I'm in my bed. I have video games nearby. I have tea. Like, why do I need to do anything crazy? Like, but what I always thought was you're only going to regret what you didn't do looking back instead of what you did do.
Because you can always go home.
Exactly.
For those of you that are watching, if you're watching anywhere but L.A. or New York, I'm from Texas, and at one point, actually, my ex-boyfriend, the offer was to move to Laguna Beach. I'm in Laguna Beach, and he was like, "Are you going? Are you staying?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going. Let's pack up the bags."
Oh, for sure.
And I'm like, "I can always go home." No, not this.
No, you're the better one.
Not this former boyfriend. Another.
He is the good boyfriend.
Yeah, another former boyfriend. But I was like, I can always go back if I want to.
It's always there.
But the opportunity to come here was just like, really, it came to my door.
It's a siren song.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come over here, and then there, like a bunch of people are so free around here, and it's hard to pass that up.
What's been the toughest part about living in LA?
Just getting nickel and dimed all the time. Like, even if you have money to make ends meet, you're still like, parking ticket here. Like beer, alcohol's like triple the price everywhere else. Like
Gasoline.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And like I think everyone flaking out all the time too. Like everyone has plans or they're too busy. It's hard to maintain good friendships. So when you find someone real, like you want to cling on to them. They're like, oh, you're too clingy, and then they go away. And you're like, when?
Yeah, and that is one thing that I discovered. It's not a cliche, but being from Texas, I like being on time. I like being there for people. You ask me to do something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Unless, I'll admit, I'm a wuss when it comes to being sick sometimes. So if I get sick, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything.
Oh, right.
But there is this, and let me tell you, people, okay, this is not that we're on. We're all busy. Stop using I'm busy as an excuse.
All of us are busy.
We
all have 24 hours in a day. Come on.
Before I used to be like, what have you been up to? Oh, I've been busy. We're all busy.
Tell us something I don't
Yeah.
know.
I have a full day, maybe a little more. If I could be in Huntington Beach this morning and be in Venice this afternoon, shut up.
Yeah, if you could clone yourself, that would make things a lot easier, probably.
There are a lot of people that look like me around here. Just saying.
You're like, brother?
So what's your words of wisdom to somebody out there watching this and going, oh, Theo's just braver than I am?
My words of wisdom is anyone can be as brave as me. They just have to get in a toxic relationship and have a good job offer. I'd say just do what you always wanted to do and worry about the problems when you get to them. Because like overthinking always paralyzes people. Just do what you want, and then it's usually a good thing. But if something bad pops up, deal with it then. But know that you did it.
That's a really chill kind of way of looking at things.
I mean, look what I'm wearing. I'm really chill.
He's very relaxed. So, how did you come upon being on this show?
I knew Pritesh. I hosted a show on Melrose in Hollywood, and Pritesh killed it. Like, he was cracking everybody up. And then I was hosting that show, and he liked what I was doing. I liked what he was doing, so we got to the talk, and he was like, come on my show.
Nice.
Yeah.
I met Pritesh for those of you that remember, we did a show, pre-show show for Cameron Weir about 3 months ago. And Pritesh was in the lineup of that. But he got there right as I was shutting down for the show. So I didn't get to interview him. But it's Pritesh. He looks a little pretentious.
Yeah.
Let's face it. And for those of you that follow Put It Together podcast, he was just on the show not long ago. So his episode is up on the air, so you can catch that. And I on the recording of the episode, always at the beginning I tell people how I met my guest, and I tell them that story and tell them how I thought he was a real dick.
Really?
Yes. I'm like, you look really pretentious and I didn't want to get to talk to you. But I've made it a habit that if I see somebody at an event or in a crowd and I get a little turned off, I want them on my show even more.
Whoa.
Because there's obviously something that I come from the rehab. So there's something about you that I see in myself that's turning me off a little bit.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, you're like, that person's repulsive. I've got to talk
Yes,
to him.
I want to find out what I'm seeing in him that reminds me of me.
Oh.
So once we sat down and talked, I realized how really connected he is, how spiritual he can be. He's not a dick.
No, not at all.
I just created that version in my head to hate him a little bit.
Well, he'll tease you if he likes you, but beneath it is a nice nougat shell.
So
beneath that chocolate shell is nougat and whipped chocolate.
Well, I didn't lick him that hard, so I don't know.
I'll try again. Just get Christian's permission.
Just first, for those of you who follow Put It Together podcast, you can go check him out. He's episode 253,
nice.
I believe.
Congratulations.
The name of the episode is Who Raised Him? And go find out. Listen to his story. Listen to how he was raised, where he was raised. It's a really interesting story, and we're going to try and get him up here in a minute. But while the other comedians sit here, let me give the lineup. Let's talk about who's going to be here. We have Julia.
Off to a good start.
Hladkowicz.
Hladkowicz?
Okay. Matt O'Brien. Karen Rantowski.
Yeah, a lot of Polish
Asif
names.
Ali. They had to make this really difficult on me. Theo Manhattan is the easiest one I can say here. And Maddie
Chymbor.
Thank you. And then, of course, Pritesh is hosting. For those of you that are wondering where we are, we're upstairs at the Mystic Journey Yoga. The address is 1702 Lincoln Boulevard here in Venice, California. Get over here. The show starts at 7:15, but you can get here early. Come upstairs and catch the pre-show show. This is the Put It Together podcast conversations pre-show show. And the only one that was here early, and we kind of gravitated towards each other. He followed us. I think he followed us upstairs because he thought we were going to steal something. No, we were going to.
No, I thought there would be alcohol.
That's that what it was?
Upstairs, yeah.
Because you assumed I was like the bartender or the.
No, I didn't.
The waiter
I
or
didn't
something?
even. You both were negligible. I was just like, I thought there was a bar set up, so I was gonna help myself. But then I found you gentlemen, and you know what? It turned out better.
Little did you know when you sat here, you had to tell your whole story.
Oh, yeah.
This is almost a whole podcast in itself.
It is, and I'm fine with that because more me time is fantastic.
You know, that's one of the cool things about LA is things like this don't happen often. That you just get a microphone and a camera.
Yeah, everyone wants attention all the time.
And then, you know, another pet peeve. A lot of my friends, especially now that I'm doing comedy and in the circuit, a lot of them are always talking about, I want more time. And then I'm like, hey, come on my show. Let's do a Facebook Live and give you a whole hour video for you to...
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm busy.
Come on. I know. Like, they probably are like, oh, wait, are you unless you're a network exec or a big booker, then I'm open. But
Yeah. Little do they know, just because I'm going to brag a little bit now. I've been on the air for 7 years. This is our 7th year with Put It Together podcast. We've done over 250 episodes just on this show, not to mention that I've done two other shows. You have the HIV community, you have the gay community, you have the cancer survivors community, you have an international advocacy group that follows me. So you have a lot of people. Little do you know that underneath all this,
you're not small change. You're $100, my friend.
know, thank you.
Which, by the way, happy Pride Month.
Oh, yes.
It's Pride Month this month.
Coming from Minnesota to here, was there a shock value to everything that goes on in LA?
Oh my God, culture shock up the wazoo. I mean, I always tell people it's like 1 or 2 years that you're going to be shocked. It takes a lot of adaptation. California, even though it's laid back, is still go, and everyone's doing, and it's just such a big city. And Minnesota's like, you know, there's winter 7 months out of the year, and there's, you know, people, there's eye contact with people, and like people say hi to each other, and like over here it's like, no, I can't be bothered, I can't talk, must move on. And I'd say not saying you guys are, most people I've met here, but there's a lot of shallow people here that they're opportunistic. They only want to talk to you if you have something to offer.
Yes.
Which is ridiculous. We're all people.
And I think that's one of the things that I figured out when I first moved to California. One of the very first things that I did was improv.
Oh,
so I was
cool.
part of an improv, and I did improv for a couple of times. LA Comedy Connection was my home group for a couple of years.
In Burbank.
Yeah, now they're in Burbank. They used to be in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They used to be right off of Ventura Boulevard.
Oh, wow. I live I live in Encina.
Okay. Yeah, so they used to be right off of there. In fact, which is really cool, again, how things happen. There was an AA meeting that happened like across the street, basically there. And I've been clean and sober now almost 12 years. So I would go and do the AA meeting, leave that, and then go to my improv class. Which is really cool. Go figure. A little shout out to all
Can we take a suggestion? Recovery.
Yes.
Thanks,
And,
Daniel.
I know people are like, no, like, can't we drink? No, you can't drink. No, I'm kidding. What was one of the first myths that was broken down for you about LA?
Ooh, the first myth definitely broken down was how quickly you can succeed. I always thought that once you got there and got going, that naturally everybody would love you and you'd become a star. And then you get here and like 78,000 people have the same vision. And then you're like, oh, not all of you are famous. Wow, this is way harder than I thought. If you're not famous overnight, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm 4 years in and still not famous. So that definitely busts that myth.
Because coming from Houston, I was in Houston before I moved here. There were about 5 guys that would audition, and we all pretty much looked the same. There was just 5 of us.
Wow.
And in the actor circle. So something would come up, and we all auditioned for it. We'd all show up to the audition, and then we'll go out and have lunch. And once we saw the script, we were like, oh, this is you. Like, you're going to get it. And surely enough, then I move here, and I go audition for a beer commercial. And there's like 100 people that look like me. And I'm like, this is not going to be that easy. It's going to be a little more difficult. And that was my first realization that when you get called for an audition, it's not
You're
just,
not alone.
Yeah, it's not just you. So I know that there's comments on there. Are there any questions? If you have any questions for Theo Manhattan, please send them in.
Yeah, looks like there's 7 comments already.
Let me take a look just while we're talking here and see what people are saying.
It's the comment segment.
Oh, it's Stacy. Stacy, hi, Stacy. Stacy is part of. I do another podcast, Healthy Humor, for all my fans and followers of Healthy Humor. I hate the word fans. For all the people that follow Healthy Humor, Healthy Humor is a podcast that I co-host for another company, where my co-host is an advocate for.
For something.
No. The skin thing.
Eczema?
Psoriasis.
Oh. Yeah.
So Alicia, how you doing? Alicia Bridges is my co-host. She talks about psoriasis, and I talk about HIV, and we talk about the humor and the laughter that we find in being advocates and having chronic illnesses or terminal illnesses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's hard to find humor.
Yeah,
out of
so
that.
we talk about death in a funny way. So there you go.
Death can be funny.
Yeah, so Stacy, who is commenting, thank you, Stacy, for following. She is part of the our production company there.
Oh, hi, Stacy.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
And it's also all about comedy, so this fits in perfectly.
Oh, great.
Now that we talked on that, any personal challenges that get you that you face getting out in public, or that you
Oh my God, no! I'm a total extrovert. Like, the only challenge is like finding the stage to go, like having people accepting me to, like, messaging people. You do all the emails. Hey, can I get stage time? It's just a matter of them saying yes. So you just have to find it. But I can. You wind me up. You send me out. I'm going everywhere. I love it.
For the folks, again, I love being able to broadcast on Facebook Live, because we get a chance to go not just in the country, but around the world when people want to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell them a little bit about a day in the world of Theo Manhattan when you're trying to find your stage?
Well, I would say a day waking up, having breakfast and coffee. Coffee is very important. I like to stay well nourished, usually with a bagel and schmear or a nice bowl of cereal. Daily emails and finding my gigs. I'm a business. I'm not just a person, so I have to do my business. I love quality time with my girlfriend. We've been dating 2 years.
Oh wow! Congratulations. Can we say her name? Or?
She's not. Well, her name's Kimmy, but she's not on social media.
Okay.
So she's one of those people.
Oh, I wouldn't like her probably.
She's not on. Are you a real person if you're not on social media?
Do you exist if you're on Facebook?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Do you have thoughts if you're on Twitter?
No.
No.
Not at all.
And do you really have a life if you're not on Instagram?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
So Kimmy, so really this is just a made up girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just have to put airs on.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna call you out on it, but
No, I'm easy to get secrets out of me. So.
Well, congratulations on the 2 years.
Well, thank you. We're gonna get some sushi tomorrow. I got her a nice gift of it's a blanket that looks like a tortilla. So she's my little burrito.
You are kidding me.
Have you seen that
I
online?
want that.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, they actually have like 5 different sizes, and I got her the biggest one, the deluxe.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because they have like a baby one that's like a regular tortilla. You might as well put all the toppings in it.
That's like the little street tacos.
Yeah.
No, you want a big one. Not that I'm a size queen or anything, but I want the biggest
I
one.
think you're a size queen.
You call me on
for
it. Thank you.
blankets.
The funny thing is that my old stickers that I gave out at the last conference I went to was my picture on a tortilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it had all my info on it.
Like baked in?
Yeah, so basically, yeah. So it was basically a beaner taco. So going back to your day, you wake up, you have your regulars, but then
I have my quality time with the
Pritesh
lady, and I do a lot of writing and going out for more coffee, and then I do my gigs at night, and I do a lot of road work and such.
Come over here, Pritesh.
There's no Theo's this interesting.
Come here. Well,
Yeah, there is.
Come over here, Pritesh.
I'm on here for 3 more hours, baby.
Come here. We'll scoot you right here in the middle.
Look at this guy's onesie.
It's a two-piece.
Everyone thinks it's a onesie.
It's sexified. What's
So,
going on?
Yeah.
hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm excited.
Are you?
I had some of my really, really close friends come up from Orange County, so you know.
Oh, well, they could have come
have
up and
friends?
watched the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, they're from Palos Verdes.
Oh,
That's not
R-
real. That's
yeah,
not real.
RPV. I guess it's Southern LA County. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't really
I
count.
think it's Spanish for green.
Unless you're below the 55.
It's Spanish for we have money. That's what the hell is Spanish.
So it is 6:48. We still have about 30 minutes before the show starts.
7:15 will start. You know,
Yeah,
LA
so-
time.
so-
LA time.
This is your chance. Tell people where.
Oh,
why-
Mystic Journey Yoga, 1702 Lincoln Boulevard in Venice. First Saturday of every month. Barefoot Comedy. It's at this beautiful yoga studio with a crystal gallery. And I love it. It's good vibes, good energy. And I wanted to put on a show, which I'm very thankful they're allowing me to use the space, that's not just at like a dingy bar, which is just about people being drunk. And that's not, I'm not judging. There's nothing wrong with that. But as comedians,
Total
it's
judgment.
total judgment. But it's rare, like you get to have a spot like this. Like I was sick of, as a comic, seeing comedians not being treated well. They're already doing work for free, and then they get 5 minutes. There's nowhere to park. There's no green room, a legitimate spot. It's dirty.
You're not really selling it here in this show. Right?
That's all I'm saying. This place is beautiful. And I was like, if I get the chance to do here, I want to give comics a good amount of time. I want to give it a pleasant atmosphere, good spot. They can videotape their set so they get something positive out of it. You know what I mean? So besides Theo. And that's about it.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the chance to come and do a pre-show show.
Well, he has good vibes. I'm only about good vibes. That's it.
Thank you.
Every comedian I book is about good vibes. He was an awesome host when I did a show, The Secret Show.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's hilarious and a great host and a nice guy and very
And you
comfortable.
murdered it.
It was fun. It was a fun show. So I was like, I got to have him on, and same with other comics.
Well,
and we
already-
have a husband wife. Without knowing, I booked a husband and wife.
You didn't know
Synchronicity.
that?
No, I didn't know Julia and Matt were married.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Julia hit me up on, she emailed me like a while ago, and she goes, hey, I heard about your show. I'd love to be on. I emailed her back. I said, sure, I'll book you for this time. Matt, I worked with once. I reached out to him separately. We've been trying to get a date together. And the last 3 shows, he was busy.
Wow.
And I was like, I booked him. And then I saw on Instagram, I was like, he like put their 9-year wedding anniversary. I was like, wait, what? You two are married? And no one mentioned it.
I smell a con here. I smell a con.
Dude, I hope they get divorced today. That'd be fun.
Tonight. This is the show.
Dude, everyone agrees 10 years is a little too long. 9, 10 years. Like, what are you doing?
about it.
Like, go mess
In
around.
LA.
It's
It's
boring.
And no drama. We need to go
One
on. We need to go on
look,
their social
look at
media.
Matt's face. There's no way he's good in bed. Look at that.
It's that mustache.
Look at that. Any man with a mustache like that, he usually falls asleep before you get started.
And he's Canadian.
He's
He's Canadian.
she married him for the health care. And look, I get it. Do you? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we wanted to. We told folks about your podcast. It just came out not long ago.
Which one?
Yours.
Oh,
Your episode.
Oh yeah,
253.
my podcast episode. Yes.
On my show.
It was awesome.
Yes, you do
We had
remember.
really deep talk actually.
do remember
It
doing
went
that.
real deep, real quick. But it was awesome. We
And-
had real conversation.
And I was telling them how I actually thought the first time I met you that you were a total dick.
It's what everyone thinks when they say me.
I still think
It's the hair.
It's fine.
It's the hair.
It's the hair.
It's the hair.
I put coconut oil.
But
in it,
this guy
you know?
is really cool. And then he called me and said, "Hey, will you do this?" And here I am.
Yeah, and thank you.
No, thank you for.
I
doing
wish
this.
the other comedians would actually come on time, but they'll
Yeah,
be
what's
here
their
soon.
deal?
Traffic, they're all hitting me up.
Oh,
Traffic.
Please.
I'm like, it's called the
Excuses.
Waze.
I would have believed it more if they said they were busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking
when
about
people
that.
say
It's like you
they're
live in
busy.
LA. Traffic is the constant. This is not Iowa, where it's like an accident happened
Or
once
Minnesota.
in a blue moon. Yeah, exactly. Traffic is neutrality here. Okay.
Dude, I started driving out here at like 4:30 just to
Yeah.
make
See, this
sure
is
I
a
could
real
eat
man.
it.
He got here, but he got to get energized with the crystals. He touched the crystals downstairs.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
bit of artwork here. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll go back to when we got here and we saw him chilling on the couch. We thought he worked here.
Oh, I thought he was homeless. I was like, excuse me, can I help you?
I did ask
Sir?
for some change.
Yeah, he asked for some change and he wanted fresh water. We're like, all right, dude, now go back to Flint, Michigan. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think I won't be like I'll dress like this and ask for change, but I'll tell people I'm not homeless.
Yeah,
I
you're
just
not
want
homeless.
change.
You just need change.
Yeah.
And you need to
Will
buy
you
it.
just have some?
I saw this really cool crystal I want to buy. So.
Yeah.
Do the damn thing. All right, I'm going to go downstairs.
Thank
Go
you.
talk to the people. Thank you all for coming. Oh, there he is, the Canadian. We're
There's
just
a
talking about
Canadian.
it. Let the Canadian.
Hi, welcome. Matt.
You are. Thank you.
Matt O'Brien just walked in, folks. Thank you, Theo.
We were just talking about his prowess.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
Thank you for being. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
see you in a
you.
little bit.
Thank you.
It's a pre-show show.
So, guys, again, we are at the Mystic Journey Yoga for Barefoot Comedy, and Mr. Matt O'Brien just walked in. One of the hi, I'm Daniel Garza.
Hey,
Welcome
Matt.
to the show. This is the
to meet ya.
pre-show show.
You're damn right it is.
This is a podcast, put together podcast conversations, and we do a pre-show show for comedians.
Wow.
So we get you warmed up and get
about
you going.
time.
Yeah, with our clothes on. So.
Yes. I've done so many pre-show warm-ups that were completely nude and in a wet field in Oklahoma. That's mostly what my experience with this has been, but this is nice.
So we just heard the story of that you and your wife were getting both booked for the show.
Yes.
Without knowing that you were both going to be on the show.
Yes.
Or did you know?
No, because, well, sometimes I'll book a show and I'll be like, honey, email this person too, kind of thing. But we just did it separately. We should have a joint email. It should be a married, but, just one email, just blast out. Because we only have one car, so it makes sense for us to
Have
be
one,
on.
one Facebook, one Twitter.
Exactly, yeah.
We know she's here.
She's downstairs, yeah.
Oh, well, let's hope she comes up in a minute.
Yeah, we'll see. She's a bit skittish.
As a comedian, come on,
Yeah,
we'll
no,
break her out
she's
of
like a
it.
groundhog.
So, we also found out through Pritesh you were from Canada.
Yes.
And did
Still
you,
am.
Still
Still am from there,
Still
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
What got you into comedy?
Well, taking a risk in my life, and it's always been a dream of mine to do it. And I didn't know it was a career option until I was in college, and I found an open mic, and I tried it, and I really liked it. And then, put my journalism degree on hold. Well, I mean, I graduated, but I'm not using it for anything, clearly. and that was over 10 years ago.
Now, I'm going to ask because I haven't seen your comedy, so we're going to watch it tonight.
Yes, it's very bad.
Okay, good.
I bomb all the time.
Because I'm not in the mood to laugh tonight.
Yes, so get ready to watch me bomb, and I'm going to cry a lot and beg for
But
laughs.
does your journalistic background help you tap into what's going on in the world to then make fun of it?
Yeah, maybe.
Or am I going way too deep?
No, I don't know. I'm not a very topical guy. I won't be like, I literally will never start a joke with like, oh, what's in the news today? Let's see. I like my jokes to have longevity and be like, you can kind of tell them anytime. And also to get your mind off of things. Things are so garbage right now.
Hi.
Look who it is.
Look at this, Julia. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Ma'am.
Come on over. So, for those of you watching, we are at Mystic Journey Yoga at 1702 Lincoln Boulevard, and the show tonight is Barefoot Comedy. Pritesh, who was already just for now, and we have Julia. Come on over. This is the pre-show show.
It's the pre-show show.
We're all gonna just...
Yeah. Well, you guys already know each other, so I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah. We found out while we were doing the pre-show show earlier that you guys are together. You guys
Yeah,
are
we're
couple.
married.
And congratulations! I think you just celebrated 9 years.
Yeah, 9
Yes.
years.
How do you do that?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
You just
Sheer laziness.
You don't leave.
Yeah.
A couple in entertainment in LA, trying to make it through.
Yeah.
I mean,
Secret.
we started in Canada, so that might have
So are you
helped.
also from Canada?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're both Canadian.
So I'm not the only one that came across the border.
No.
No.
Finally,
See?
finally, the first
All
time.
the same.
Yeah, and then this is here we are. I'm sorry.
So your relationship started in Canada
Yeah.
before
Yes.
you moved here.
Mm-hmm.
How did the conversation to move here happen?
We both always wanted to move, and it was just a matter of when we got our paperwork together for visas or green cards, and
Yep.
yeah, it's just we were always on the same page about moving here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we always, it's always the goal. There's only so much you can do in Canada career-wise, so it's like once you do like a couple tapings Just for Laughs and comedy specials and stuff like that, then you're like, let's
On to the
switch it
next.
up.
It's
Let's-
like anything, though. Like I always say, even if I was a plumber who lived in Toronto for 10 years, eventually I'd want to move somewhere else and be a plumber
and
somewhere
plumb
else.
somewhere in
Plumb-
Venezuela, or like, maybe not Venezuela now, but I don't know.
Just, I think it's
you
good
want
to
see what
switch
the other
it
pipes
up.
look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that code for something?
Yes, I want to get out there and
Yes.
see the
other
pipes
pipes.
of the world.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using that line myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my posters.
Other women's
Unclogging
vaginas.
pipes.
Is this a live stream to something?
Yes.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Good.
To what?
This is our Facebook Live. So
Oh,
I do a
okay, okay.
podcast. Yeah, so I do a
I was like-
podcast called Put It Together.
Oh, okay.
And then the live version is put together podcast conversations where we get the chance. And Pritesh was at a show where I was doing a pre-show show.
Oh, okay.
And then he invited me to come and do a pre-show show with you guys. So hopefully we might be back next month to do another pre-show show.
If you don't screw it up.
If I don't, yeah.
Just kidding.
No, yeah. So I've been practicing my English all morning long. I am practicing my English so I can speak very well. So Matt was just telling us he was going to be a journalist before in college, right?
Yeah.
Well, you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
you graduated college. Obviously.
Graduated.
They do graduate in Canada.
What did you take in college there, Julia? Tell him.
In California, communications is that degree.
Is that
Is
communication?
it? I didn't even know.
That's the translation.
Sounds
Okay.
extra useless.
For those of you that don't speak Canadian,
Yeah.
it's,
Communications. I actually went to college for comedy writing and performance.
really?
Yeah.
I should go to Canada for that.
Clown college.
They call it clown college on the streets.
Yeah, it was never my intent. I always wanted to go to theater school because I went to an arts high school, but I was more on the funny side of things. So, took that, and the rest is history.
Joe, I'm sure some people. If you have any questions, by the way, for Matt or Julia, please send them in, and we'll answer them right now, if you don't mind. Hopefully,
no.
they'll-
No,
As long as they're not rude.
no rude questions. But if you have any questions, send them in. I know my question would be: you're both comedians. Are you always laughing at home?
No, it's very sad at home.
No, we do
Sad
laugh a
and
lot,
terrifying.
but then when we fight, it's
Ooh,
real
it's a
scary.
big one.
It's dark times.
Yeah.
Because I picture sarcasm flying.
Oh,
when
big
you're doing
time.
that.
Very
yeah.
sarcastic.
A lot of hand
two
movements, a lot of
idiots.
flailing.
A lot of fights over like the other person not retweeting the other person or not
Yeah.
liking their Instagram post.
That kind of
A lot
stuff.
of social media things.
And it's a lot of just like, at least I will speak in hyperbole. I'll always be like, fine, you don't want to talk to me? Like, I'm literally never going to talk again.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, shut up, I hate you, let's kiss and make up.
Yeah. Oh, every show we're booked on, we get a small divorce,
Yeah.
and then we get back together. At the
No.
end.
That was our goal tonight, to get you guys
Spoiler
divorced.
alert,
Yes.
It's a hot mess.
I want a crystal.
I want a crystal.
Aren't those awesome downstairs? I collect stones and crystals. I do. I'm a Reiki master, so that's all about my gig. So when I found out that the event was here, I was
Yeah,
like,
that's your jam, man.
Yeah, I won't deny that there might be a stone missing. Yeah, you see, I got my.
Look at us in
Yeah,
our little
load it
crystals.
up. I got nothing.
You got no crystals.
You got no. You got no stones, no rocks on you.
I don't know. There's a lot of crystals. Maybe something fell in.
For folks, we have friends out in Canada too. For folks out there saying, "Oh, Matt and Julie are brave, and they really just went for it," I could never do that. What words of wisdom could you throw their way?
Don't do it.
Okay, there you go. There you go, folks.
It's scary and hard.
It's weird and hard, and I don't know. Only do it if it's something that you fully want to do. Why is Pritesh shaking his head at me? Oh,
Oh, there's drama on set, folks. Pritesh?
I already said it. She married him for the Canadian health insurance.
She's Canadian as
Canadian
well.
too.
What the fuck am I having on the show for? This is an American show.
What is this? I mean, you got the sexual favors I had to do to get on this show right now, and some things were very disgusting, even for me.
Boyfriend running the camera.
Yeah, he always runs the camera. Yeah, $2.99 a minute. Join littlemexican.com/
Cool. A porno.
But no, really, I know there's. I'm from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is basically another country. And a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, you were a venture. You were brave enough," which really wasn't. I just followed my ex-boyfriend here.
Yeah.
right.
But what?
Kill him.
Yeah. Wait, but it got us together. See how that works
That's
in the
nice.
universe.
That's good.
You're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. So if it's something that you think you'll regret for the rest of your life by not doing it, then just
Yeah.
do it. And then you'll figure it out. If it doesn't work, you can always move back.
But it's also you never want to live your life being like, what if kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. I never wanted to be like, what if I moved to LA? But I never did. And now I am the star of a Canadian television show that no one will ever see.
I mean, that sounds pretty
Not
good
even
right
a Canadian-
now.
I mean, I'd take it.
I would
It's
take
not
that.
too bad. I think
So if you're watching out there, if you're a producer, director, writer, and you think, I don't know what to write about, two Canadians in LA, hit show right there.
writes
Yeah.
itself.
Married comedians,
Hey.
Canadians in LA.
Hey, there you go. We're invitation for folks who want to come out and see you tonight.
An invitation?
Yeah.
Come on out.
Come on out. We'll
I
see
mean,
you
if you
there.
can get here right now, I think this show's
Matt
about
has the
to
address
start.
over there.
What is it?
We're at the Crystal Emporium here
No.
in Mystic Journey presents.
Right there. There you go. Don't improvise.
1702 Lincoln. I'm so hungover.
He doesn't read American.
Mystic Journey Yoga, 1702 Lincoln Boulevard. Come see us right now. Look at the crystals. Laugh at our jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thanks so much.
We will see you again. If you get divorced during the show, we'll have to post that live. Thank you guys. We have a couple more of the comedians here. Hi, Maddie, right? How you doing? How do you pronounce your last name, Maddie? Chymbor. Hi, I'm Daniel Garza.
Pleasure. How you doing,
Welcome
buddy?
to the
Maddie Chymbor.
welcome to the pre-show show.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. Did they tell you we were going to have a pre-show show?
No, they conned me into this last one. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
They
yes.
told me it's
That's
great.
what happens. This is an upstairs room, so once they come upstairs, there's no.
Being held hostage.
So this is
Some
part
money.
of my Put It Together podcast show. I have a podcast, and this is the conversations part.
Okay.
So we get to talk to the comedians before they go on.
This is awesome.
Tell the folks where you're from and how you got into comedy.
Originally from Connecticut, comedy. Somebody told me I was funny. Thank God for that person, because at the time I probably wasn't, and then I just started doing stand-up.
When did you come out to LA?
I came out to LA 2010, so I've been here for a while. Started stand-up out in LA, homegrown, no local. A lot of these people start in their hometowns, like those Canadians and stuff. I started here, baby.
Canadian.
I sucked here and still suck here. So it's great to be upstairs in an attic.
So coming from Connecticut, thank you. He's
Welcome to the Matty Chymbor show.
He's a natural. Coming from Connecticut, people would have thought, well, the natural choice would have been New York.
Done with the cold. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do it. Cold weather. I'm sick of those people. Rude. No, I'm just kidding. I came out here side story. I moved out to LA for grad school.
Okay.
Started stand-up in grad school, and then just decided to let my unprofessional career take off and kind of put the professional one to the side. So.
And what were you thinking you were going to be when you grew up?
I went to school. I actually got my master's in architecture.
Oh, wow.
So
So you're building your career.
Hey, I'm building the humor. Put the funny roof on the thing and the. No, just kidding.
So you very like they're not even connected.
You'd be surprised. I'm gonna not be funny for a second. You'd be surprised in the process of designing a building versus the process of designing a joke. They go through the same stages of first idea, this is the best thing ever, and then you start to develop it and you go, I don't like this anymore. Why did I say this? I'm an idiot. Hey, this is pretty good. Oh, this is actually good. I like this. So everything goes through a wave like that, and it's crazy how I try to simplify my brain when writing jokes where I'm like, I'd match it to when I'm designing a project for school. So if my joke started to suck, I'm like, well, I'm just sick of it. It's not bad, and you got to work out the kinks, and then when it comes out the back end, you're like, oh, I actually like that. So tell me not to give up. I always point to the camera. So.
What did your that's very boy band. That's very boy band. What did your family think of your going from architecture to comedy?
Not bad. I think in the earlier years, I did the full-time job, thing. So I did a little for them while I did a little for me. So I had to gain I had to introduce them to comedy. It wasn't like, hey, quit my job doing stand-up, and I feel like a lot of comics do that, so they get a negative pushback, versus me where I worked and did it, hey ma, this is my side thing.
Like the hobby.
And then once you kind of let them smell it, let them pet it, it's like a dog. Once they get that, then you start show them, hey, it's going well, and to the point where now they like it. So it wasn't this very blunt, this is comedy.
So would that be part of your words of wisdom to somebody who wants to venture into comedy?
I'm a huge advocate of get a day, work. I feel like the starving artist is a thing which I don't buy into per se. I think in LA, if you're going to move to a city, it's too expensive, and this is an art form where it takes years upon years to get remotely good. I've been doing it 8.5 years now, and I still tell myself I suck all the time. You know what I'm saying? But you're always learning, but get a day job. You can do both. I feel like a lot of people just work these barista jobs, and if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you have the skill set and you went to college, you can work during the day, do stand-up at night. It's not impossible to do both. So
that's awesome. For somebody who is stuck in small town somewhere and afraid of taking that leap, what would you tell them?
Just try. A lot of people, and I see this with friends who are very talented, whether they're singers, etc., just try it. Anybody who always talks to me about stand-up, I want to do it. I'm like, just try it at least once. I think I told myself, the last thing you want to do is in 10 years regret not trying it. I think it's worth a shot. You can do a lot of these things in your hometown, for comedy. I'm going to use comedy because I know it best. There are open mics everywhere. Write your name on the piece of paper. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but once you get up there, I think once you get off, the sense of accomplishment is bigger than a lot of things I've done. So,
what was your first set like?
Oh my God. It was, I thought I knew, but I didn't even know. No one told me how to write a joke. My buddy's like, dude, you should try stand up. All right, what do I do? He's like, write funny things down. This is a non-comic telling me this. And then we had a mutual friend who did stand up. He got me 5 minutes on a show, and I just wrote down what I thought was humor and just, figure it out. That's the toughest thing. I just wrote down awful jokes, thought I was funny, took one off the chin, and kept showing up. So,
who is your word? Who's your Jiminy Cricket that tells you, Matt?
Is Jiminy Cricket bad? Was he?
Well, he was the word.
Was he
conscious.
So he wasn't he was more of a pessimist? I don't know.
No, he was more of like
Well, like the
the
level-headed-
balance, yeah.
Oh.
Because I tell people always that my boyfriend is my best critic. He'll be the first one I get off stage because I do stand up
Oh,
as
you
well.
do? Oh, I didn't
yeah.
know that. I wish
So
I knew that.
I get off stage and he'll be the first one like, and this part wasn't good.
You know, I steer clear of those people, which I think has got me this far in the career. I think, you know, you want to hear constructive criticism, but there's sometimes a time and a place for that. I feel like after a bad set, the last thing I want to hear is my friend say, ugh, that was pretty, you know what I'm saying? So I think, but for me, first is me. I'm my own worst enemy. I will be the first to tell myself I suck, even when it goes well. I need people actually to talk me off the ledge. But who else? My ex-girlfriend, who is a comedian as well, she's good at, you know, telling me things I don't want to hear, but at the end of the day, I do appreciate her criticism. So.
Because that's the way I'm like. I'm like, don't tell me yet. Don't tell me yet.
You know, you're like, I don't need to know.
Yeah. And then after a couple of tacos, I'm like, okay, tell me now.
Okay.
Like I've got food in my mouth. I won't reply.
Strap yourself.
Is that Pritesh still there at the stairs? Pritesh, are you still there? Come. Okay. You want to come and say goodbye to the folks? And,
Goodbye, folks. Goodbye, folks.
don't go away, man.
Why am I always sitting next to a white guy? I'll tell my
They're
right.
all over the place.
They're all over the place.
Taking over LA.
Hey, we're back, baby.
We're back.
Whitey's taking over. It's like I'm
Hey,
a legend.
I'm very excited. Got an amazing lineup, incredible comics. I'm super stoked, and I just feel very blessed to have it at this beautiful place. I don't know what else to say, man.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I left
Come
my
join
shoes
us. If you
somewhere.
can't make it this time.
Next one's July 13th, simply because of the 4th of July weekend. But otherwise, it's the first Saturday of every month here, 7 p.m.
Mystic Journey.
Barefoot Comedy, Laughter Medicine.
1702 Lincoln Boulevard in Venice, California.
Come through.
join us, and if Pritesh gives me a chance, we'll be back here for another pre-show show with another lineup of comedians.
He's going to be back every time for the pre-show show.
Pantsless comedy.
So let's comedy. I'm down.
Oh yeah, there's a
Thank
there's a
you.
pizza place.
No, vegan pizza place next door. Vegan, even more so. So it gets. Look, we're very LA here. We pray crystals, meditation, vegan. We saving the planet. You feel me?
Bring your
Peace.
So thank you guys for joining us. This is Daniel Garza with Put It Together Podcast Conversations, doing a pre-show show here at Barefoot Comedy. Join us next month. Thank you, Matt, for being on the show.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you
Follow
next.
your
What was that?
dreams.
We're at a point now.
Point.
See you next time.
Talking to you.